Well, 2 days in a row around the same time. It's not too bad, is it? It's not too bad. So I'm going to do a preview Newcastle versus Liverpool, and I'll discuss the Premier League as well, how it's going. So we're going to be talking about a few things today. So let's do this, people. Let's do this. Hello, everybody. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for daily contents. Hello, welcome to LFC Red Forever channel, people. Before we start, you know what to do. Hit that, or do all that good stuff. Hit the like button, subscription button, notification button, and comment if you can as well. I'm going to be talking about, obviously, the preview Liverpool versus Newcastle versus Liverpool, and we're going to discuss the Premier League as we go along as well. We're going to start off with the Premier League. Yesterday's game, Arsenal versus Manchester City. So let's do this. Let's do this. So as you all can see, it was Arsenal 1, Manchester City 3. Manchester City back on top as they usually are. I was impressed with Arsenal to a certain extent. They dominated the game majority of the time with their passing ability and their attacking. Attacking side of things wasn't like a lot to be desired compared to the Man City attacking, because Manchester City, they got Haaland up front. Let's just be honest there. He's going to be a tough guy to stop when he's going through on goal. And then you got Eddie Nketiah on the other side as well. So that's two different players. It's night and day, if you know what I mean, people. It's not going to be easy for Arsenal defence when they're facing Haaland compared to Eddie Nketiah for Arsenal against Man City. I was a bit suspicious about the penalty. As you guys can see, it was for Arsenal. It was a strange one. I was thinking to myself, how do you give a penalty like that? I've seen a lot of games, Ederson do that against Liverpool. After the ball is being kicked, he hits up one of our players. But I've never seen a penalty before. But what made me think to myself, is this a level up between the referees and Arsenal Football Club? Arsenal had a goal allowed. So Brentford had a goal allowed against Arsenal, which was apparently offside or something like that. And a lot of people was upset about it. Arsenal made a complaint, and the Premier League apologised to Arsenal. Howard Webb, especially the referee of the committee, apologised to Arsenal. And I was thinking to myself, the way Anthony Taylor gave that penalty was so quick, because Anthony Taylor, people, he's one of those guys that don't give decisions normally. And we all know that as Liverpool fans. We see this on a regular basis, you know what I mean? And he gave it so quick, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And it wasn't a penalty. In my opinion, a lot of people could say it was a penalty, but in my opinion, that was no way a penalty. No way in the light of day. Never. Football is a contact sport, you know what I mean? If you kick the ball and it's going towards the goal already, and then the contact comes after, how is that a penalty? It doesn't make sense. The momentum of the goalkeeper takes him onto Eddie Nketiah, so it can't be a penalty. There's no way, you know what I mean? And it shows. It's what referee won and Arsenal won. That's what it is. And when Liverpool had these kind of issues, we don't complain like Arsenal did. We just accept it as it is. That's the difference between the two clubs. And I remember Arsenal versus Liverpool. We had the penalty disallowed. One of the defenders handled it, and it wasn't allowed. And I thought it was a soft penalty for Arsenal when there was a contact between Thiago and Jesus. That was a strange penalty in my opinion. And there was another one as well. It was the first goal for Arsenal when Saka's leg was offside. How wasn't that offside? They're saying the VAR had a day off. We didn't get no apologies for things like that. We didn't even complain. We just get on with it. That's Liverpool Football Club. But yeah, listen, Manchester City are back on top. They're gonna be. Let's be honest. They're gonna be killing it in the league, it was just a matter of time before like they've taken over, innit? Let's just be honest. And Arsenal is going to be like struggling from now, because majority of the teams in the Premier League are going to play for something. Like they're either going to play for relegation, so like try to stay up in the league, or they're going to whatever position you finish in the league, the money goes up in it. So people are fighting for that Europa League and Champions League spots as well. So they're not going to get easy as they did in the beginning of the season, because in the beginning of the season is different, isn't it? If you look at the beginning of the season, teams like play football. They don't concentrate on the defensive side. Now it's tactical, and they're going to be more solid as the season goes on. Where the second half of the season, compared to the first half, the second half is always tighter, because, like I said, they're fighting for positions in the league. And Arsenal, like since the turn of the year, haven't been the same. You know what I mean? I don't know how many wins they got, but if you look at it right now, let me look at it right now. If you look at it right now, 1 second, where am I? I'm way ahead of thing. So look, Everton. Manchester City in the FA Cup, Everton, that's 2 games, and then they drew with Brentford 1-1, and now they lost to Manchester City 3-1. So it shows the league ain't. Let me put it up. I don't know why it's not coming up. Yeah, so it shows in the league they're not as formidable as they was in the beginning of the season. Like I said, it's 2 parts to the season. The first part is full throttle football. Everybody goes so quick. The second part, it's like this. It's harder, because everybody's fighting for something, and it's going to be difficult for them in the next game as well. If you look at the next game, they got Aston Villa away. Aston Villa with Unai Emery as well, like former Arsenal manager. Is he going to give them a free pass? I don't think so, because the way they treated him, he might even try that bit harder to defend in this game and try to get them on the counter attack. And then they got Leicester away after that, so 2 away games in a row. It's going to be tough for them. Obviously, they're going to have 2 home games after that as well. Yeah, so the league looks pretty much how I expected it to. But obviously, Arsenal have a game in hand. But they've got another game against Man City coming soon as well. So if Man City win that game, it's going to be night and day eventually, isn't it? Like I said, they have to beat Aston Villa away, Arsenal, in order for them to keep that momentum going, to challenge for the league title. It's been a terrible season in regards to Premier League. The World Cup didn't help it as well. The World Cup was annoying in a certain way, because it stopped the team's momentums as they were like actually winning the games as well. And you can see after the World Cup, a lot of teams haven't come back the same, especially Liverpool as well. We was like, I think we were on a three game run after the before the World Cup, and then after the World Cup we just couldn't get a win. Like we only got 1 win this year, and it shows it. So yeah, as you can see in the Premier League, Man United are back in it. Obviously they played the same amount of games as Manchester City, but it looks like they're back. They're only 5 points off the top, so it looks like they're back in the title race. And Newcastle, they got Liverpool next. We're going to be discussing that as we go along. Tottenham, 1 point of 2 points of Newcastle, so they're about. Like nobody is solid in this matter, because you expect someone to run away with the league. You expect someone to sorry people, I'm just getting a phone call. You expect someone to solidify their position in the league, if you know what I mean. And I don't know what's going on. 1 second. Yeah, solidify their position in the league, just to show everyone like I'm here to stay and I'm going to take over eventually. You know what I mean? And it doesn't look like anyone wants the Premier League this season. It looks like everybody has got a chance, and all the way down to Tottenham. If results go as they are at the moment, like if teams don't win on a regular basis, the other teams keep catching up the top of the table. If you know what I mean. So anything can happen. Listen, I'm enjoying it so far. In regards to there's no one running away with it, because it just draws everyone back in it. It draws. I'm not saying my team we need to go on a consistent run to even like hit the top 4. So there's a long way to go in it. It's a long way to go. So if we look at the other side of the league, you can see Fulham still up there. Fulham's been impressive this season. I'm really, really impressed with Fulham, man, because the majority of the time, like, they're up for relegation, and everybody says, they're going to go down, it's over, isn't it? But they look at them, 23 games, 35 points, they're almost to the 40 points. When you get to 40, that means you actually solidify your Premier League status. So that's what they're heading towards as well. It's only 5 points clear off the 40, so they're not bad. Chelsea's the one that's shocking me the most, man. Like, look how low they are in the league. Damn, 10th in the league, man. All that signings they made, all that money they spent, and they're 10th in the league. And it's a difficult season for them. Then we go to the bottom. We go to Southampton. Did you expect Southampton to be at the bottom this season? Maybe so, because they wasn't impressive last season either. You know what I mean? Liverpool went to Southampton and beat them with the reserve teams. That's how weak they are at the moment, and they need a manager that's those kind of managers that's used to relegation battles but wins it, like Sam Allardyce, someone like that, to bring them back up to where they got to be in it. That's what they need, Southampton and that stuff. And you got Bournemouth. I expected them to get relegated this season, especially with Scott Parker as the manager. He's not very experienced in the Premier League, and then he got sacked after a few games. Everton, after we beat them the other day, I think they're in a fighting, but it's going to be fighting battle for them in it this season. They're not going to be very, 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 very impressive, like in regards to coming up from that position. It's a difficult, when you get yourself, especially a big club, when you get yourself at the bottom, it's difficult to come back up from there, if you know what I mean, people. And it looks like that way as well for them. Giving Frank Lampard a job, especially in the Premier League, it's too early for him. He should have just settled for the Championship and just work his way up a few years, isn't it? That's how I see it with Frank Lampard. I think it's too much too soon for him. And it's unfortunate, because look where the team is, and look where Chelsea were when he left Chelsea as well. So it's not looking very good for him as a manager, if you know what I mean, people. And then you got Leeds on top of that. Leeds have been performing well, but I was really, really disappointed with them after that Man United game, the way they played, especially when they played at Old Trafford and they drew 2-2. They should have won that game. They were 2-0 up as well. And then you go to Ellen Road against Man United, the second game, and then they play like that. It doesn't make any sense, you know what I mean? Like, come on, you got to be more solid. You got to be more attacking. You got to be more as a unit as well, which there wasn't. And it's sad. It's sad. I hope they don't get relegated, because they're a massive club. As for Everton, we need the derbies, don't we? We need the derbies. We can't get them going up. Going down. You got West Ham, you got Wolverhampton, Nottingham Forest, Leicester. Leicester's climbing up that table. They look impressive now. They look like they found their way out of these issues they're having, and maybe they're gonna be climbing in the top 10. You never know with Leicester, because the players they got, they should not be down there in 30th position. And then you got Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace haven't been that good this season compared to last season, but a lot of improving to do. And you got Aston Villa. They are climbing up the table, especially with Unai Emery. They just have to find that identity, and then they see where they go from there. So this is what I got for you, obviously, in the Premier League. Let me get out of this, man. I don't want to be part of that anymore. So we'll go to Liverpool now, and we'll discuss Liverpool and Newcastle. Newcastle, what impresses me about them the most is they climbing up that table, like they belong there. You know what I mean? And last season, I'm 100% convinced they were in the bottom 3. How did they just claw their way out of that? What, signing Botman, Trippier, and Bruno, the Brazilian player, Guimaraes, I think that's his name. So how do you sign these 3 players and climb up that table? So 3 players can actually change the team's mentality, it looks like, because the majority of the players they've got Newcastle is the same players as they had before, that was fighting in the relegation zone, which is weird. It's very, very strange. If you look at the actual games we played against them, you could see the last game was 2-1 at Anfield. I think Carvalho scored in the last second of the game, as I remember. And you got the other one when Naby Keita scored last season as we was challenging for the Premier League. If you look at the last 12 games, Liverpool are unbeaten. The last time actually Newcastle beat us, it was 2-0 in 2015. So that's a while ago. And the record for Liverpool at the moment stands like that, man. We're undefeated in 12 games against them, and hope it continues, because we need us challenging for that top 4 as our players get fit at the same time, if you know what I mean. And this is a different Newcastle we're facing. We're not facing the Newcastle that used to get battered every season. Let me look at the league actually. I don't think Newcastle have lost more than one game this season. I swear. I'm 100% convinced they haven't lost a lot of games. So let's just look at it now. Where are we? Let's look at the league. Let's look at where Newcastle are. Yes, people, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that subscription button, notification button, like button as well. And then, do all that good stuff. No pressure here. It's up to you what you want to do. So, yeah, Newcastle have only lost one game this season. And you know what game that is? Guess what game? Against Liverpool Football Club. Carvalho scoring last minute. So, if you look at the league, it's pretty impressive, isn't it? If you look at them like improvement-wise, they've improved immensely. They are actually becoming a team to fear in the future as well. Can you imagine once they start spending that money like on a regular basis, where they can go? This is just like the start. Can you imagine when the big signings coming afterwards? They'll be killing this league, man. It's gonna be difficult beating the likes of Newcastle, man. They're gonna be like Man City, innit? That's what they're going to be, and it's scary. It's scary me more than anything, man. John Conway says, hi, Fozzy. Oh, big up, John, man. I always appreciate when you come on, brother. Thank you very much, mate. He says, I agree with you, Fozzy. It was never a penalty. 100%, man. How can that be a penalty? You might as well just give everyone else a penalty if you're going to give that easy kind of penalties, if you know what I mean. It's ridiculous, bro. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't agree with things like that. I'm sorry, like I said, Anthony Taylor don't give penalties. He doesn't give penalties without checking on VAR on a regular basis. And he's one of those hard referees to convince like something is genuine, if you know what I mean. And it's so quick, it was unreal, bro. It was so quick, it was unreal. I couldn't believe it, man. Yeah, so as you can see in the league, Newcastle have only lost one game. Listen, their team is not bad, is it? If you look at their team on paper, they are frightening. They are, man. But the thing is, they haven't been winning recently. They've been drawing a lot. So this is, I'm sure this is their last game against Bournemouth. Another draw. Especially when Bruno Ramirez is not in the team, they struggle pretty badly. And he's the dominant midfielder. He's the one who gives them the inspiration, if you know what I mean. So if you look at their actual like formation, it's pretty much similar to the Liverpool one. Joe Linton is just impressing me. Like, he's a striker that's turned into a midfielder, and he's more powerful than most, if you know what I mean. And it's scary because like if you convert a striker like him into a midfielder and he bullies people on the pitch, it's a scary thing, isn't it? Because not only actually his physicality gets in the way of opponents, he can score goals, he can create goals, and he's great at set pieces as well. If someone is taking a set piece, so he could get in the box and have a header or shot in the 6-yard box. So he's bringing a lot. He's bringing a lot to the Newcastle game, formation and game as well. And then you got Almiron. I remember Jack Grealish taking the piss out of him. He's not taking the piss out of him no more. I mean, Almiron is one of the best players of the season. I mean, this kid, I've always said he's a typical Liverpool player. I mean, if we was looking for a cover for Salah, I think he would have been the perfect one for us, because he gives energy. He doesn't stop running. He's a clinical finisher, like on that left foot once he gets it on there as well. But a lot of people had their doubts because he comes from the MLS, the American League, and they thought like he's coming to the Premier League, it's going to be very, very difficult for him. But he's a South American, and I mean, these kids, Paraguayan kids, ain't made like the American kids. They're different. Football is their life. And when they play in the top leagues, it takes them time, but eventually, they come to their own, and that's what he's doing. Listen, this team is frightening from what I can see. I could imagine Bruno Ramirez is gonna come on for Willock. yeah, it's going to be Willock and Bruno Ramirez swapping probably for the game. So their midfield is going to be much tighter than what we first thought, if you know what I mean. People, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscription button, notification button, like button. I'll bring this on a regular basis for you, and I'm going to bring some more chat shows with more people in it as well. So please do that for us. Much appreciated for everyone that's tuned in. But get on the chat. Let me know what you think as well. Isak is going to be the striker. Maybe Wilson if he's fit. They're more frightening with Wilson up front, if you know what I mean, people, with Newcastle. So I'm assuming he's going to come in and, if he's fit, and take over Isak. And there'll be more pacey up front. He'll bring more problems to us. And Saint-Maximin, I think he got injured in the last game. So I can't see him playing, but you never know. He could be recovered and be ready for the Liverpool game. Yes, everybody knows about that as well. So that's what I got for you for Newcastle and us. So let's check our one, man. Let's check Liverpool Football Club, what they've been in the last game. As we're all aware, we've beaten Everton by 2-0 at Anfield. It was pretty impressive. I really enjoyed it. The possession went up, the passes went up, the pass accuracy went up, fouls as well, went up slightly, and we got a yellow card finally. Everything we done in that game was what we used to do. And look at the shots, 15 shots to the 6. Don't forget, Everton actually beat Arsenal, top of the league. So it was always going to be a difficult game for us, but we made it look like easy. They've only had one chance, as I remember. That was the header from Tarkowski, like I've discussed yesterday in my review. And then we went on a counter-attack and scored that goal with Salah. And then after that, we scored with Gakpo's first goal for Liverpool Football Club. There's something I've missed yesterday, and I want to talk about him. He's an outstanding young player, a great prospect, and it's this kid. He was the star man yesterday. A couple of days ago, he was man of the match, and that midfield, the way he ruled it, the way he made it his own, impressed me more than anything, in my opinion. People, this kid has got the world ahead of him, and I don't want to overhype him, because he's still got a long way to go, but he can't play a lot of games, people. Otherwise we're going to destroy his career eventually. If he has a couple of bad games, everybody's going to go turn on him, and they're going to say he's not good enough, and then etc, and it's going to be all hell breaking loose. So just get him on gradually when everyone comes back, and then we'll see where we go from there. Yeah, so he was man of the match. I forgot to bring him up yesterday before I left, and well deserved. So let me update you on injuries. Thiago is going to be out for a while. I've heard. I was wrong about him thinking featuring in the game against Everton. So he's going to be out for a while for the hip injury. Apparently 5 to 6 weeks, they said. We can't do nothing about it, people. You know what I mean? If he's injured, isn't it? That's the problem with Thiago as well. He's one of those players that if he plays a lot of games, it takes him a while to recover after the game. So he will pick up injuries as he goes along, because at the age of 31, 32, his injuries are going to be sky high, because the recovery won't be as quick as when you're younger, if you know what I mean, people. It won't be as young as when you're younger as well. That's what I got on Thiago. As for Arthur, he's back in training after the operation he had. He's going to hopefully feature in the next couple of games. I don't think he's going to come back to Newcastle games, so he's going to be featuring very, very soon. I hope he'll be back. Forget about the rating bit. I didn't delete that bit, but yeah, so Arthur should be back very, very, very soon. And the players that's back, obviously Bobby. He was the top scorer at one stage. I don't know if he's still the top scorer, because Salah scored the other day. I'm happy he's back, because we need that number 10, people. You know what I mean? I was thinking about the Man City game. Before the Everton game, I was thinking to myself, what can we do since we can't get a win? Maybe we'll have to revert back to the Man City game and look at the formation we played in that game. And it was Bobby playing as a number 10 and Salah playing as a number 9, and they complemented each other so well. That's what I was thinking. And maybe in the next 17 games, maybe that's what we've got to do. Maybe we'll revert back to that double pivot and play Firmino as a number 10 and get a number 9 in front of him, so he could actually put the balls through for him on the run, and he could tap it in. If it's Diaz, if it's Nunez, if it's Salah, if it's Gakpo, whatever one that's going to be obviously playing up front. So yeah, I could see that happening, but since that Everton game, a lot has changed, and we're gonna have to wait and see what's gonna happen, innit? Yeah, Jota is back, as everybody's seen. It's perfect timing, innit? It's perfect timing for these players to come back, especially for Liverpool Football Club. We need them back as soon as possible because the runs are coming quickly, like in the Champions League, the Premier League as well. So we're only in 2 competitions. We could still qualify for the top 4 somehow, some way, because the teams above us, like I said earlier, they're always dropping points. And the likes of Jota coming back into the team, that's more goals, that's more defensive know-how at front, and more pressure on other teams, like to, be more deeper than they usually are against Liverpool. Because when Oxlade plays or Carvalho plays in the wings, teams just come on to us because they know like they're weak defensively. But Jota is one of those players that's just busy, and he's the best, I think, closing down player in the Premier League since Firmino as well. So yeah, I'm happy he's back. He's gonna like probably start against Newcastle, most probably. But give him time; he'll come to his own eventually. The big man is back in the team. Virgil van Dijk is back, everyone. As you saw him in the game, he was on the bench on Monday. I'm expecting him to be back in defence as well. Listen, Matip is all over the place. Let's just be honest there. You know what I mean? I'm worried about him at the moment. He's making like errors that's unlike him. He's making errors that's simple as well. Like you could clear it or pass it back to the goalkeeper, and he's struggling. He keeps missing the ball for some reason. Is he injured and playing at the same time because we haven't got no defenders, or is this him right now? At his age, he can't get the legs up like as he used to. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things to look at Matip when he's playing at the moment as well. Yeah, so Van Dijk is back. I'm expecting him to start against Newcastle. If we're gonna get this run going, like back in to the top 4, Van Dijk has to be back in the team. Play him in the away games, especially. You know what I mean? I don't need him to play in the home games against the smaller sides. Let him play in the away games, man, and then we'll see where he goes from there. You know what I'm saying? So we got So majority of players are back from injury, and hopefully we're gonna get back to normality. As the season goes along, and we climb up that table. Don't forget, people, we was in a worse situation than this couple of seasons ago. We played Reece Williams and Nat Phillips at the back, and we still qualified for the Champions League. 3rd place. We was like 6th, 7th, and we ended up in 3rd place. So it could happen. So next one is the starting lineup for Liverpool. I'm back in. Obviously, Alisson's got a starting goal in it. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, right back. Listen, Joe Gomez played an outstanding game against Everton, and he was more dominant. He looked like the leader at the back. It should be Matip the leader, but he was the leader at the back. So I'll put Joe Gomez there. Klopp is going to play 4-3-3. I can't do anything about it. Van Dijk back in the team. Robertson as a left back. What a performance by Robertson, by the way, people. What a performance by Robertson. It's like Robertson of old. The guy's actually running up and down like he used to. Impressive, man. Oh, man. If anyone, like, other than Gakpo and the kid, Bajcetic, I think Robertson was just after them in regards to man of the match. Out of this world. So, yeah. So, I've got them. This is the formation I'm playing, 4-3-3, as Klopp would play. And the midfield can't change. It can't change. It's got to be the same. Henderson. What worries me about Henderson, when he plays too many games, he's not the Henderson that we know. When he has a rest couple of games and comes back into the team, it's the Henderson we know. So hopefully he will get back into the team and, help out in this direction as well as that direction. But I don't need him to go to the goalkeeper anymore. It's a big pitch in Newcastle, isn't it, people? It's a massive pitch. So we need our players to be more compact. Sorry about that. We need our players to be more compact. Make this midfield like this the whole game. Majority of the game. And get this guy from the front line, like, coming back here. If I had my way, I'll play Gakpo up front and Firmino just off him. But it's to do with the Newcastle pitch. It's a massive pitch, and we need a lot of personnel on that pitch for us to cover it up, if you know what I mean, people. So this is the formation I want to do. I don't want to change much, like I said. the last game, not many players have done anything wrong. So you can't change a lot. Apart from one player, get Van Dijk back in. That's the only thing I would change. So we've got to be more like this, like this when we're defending. I mean, more like this, all compact. Make sure there's no gaps anywhere. Like, make it easy for teams to get past us, if you know what I mean. Newcastle, they love to do in the counter-attack, as everybody knows this season, what they've seen of them. They've only lost one game, people, and that's to us. We're the only ones that know how to beat them. So if we cover up the gaps here like this, he comes back here when we're defending, these two go on, like, get the ball off the defence, we'll be fine. No gaps anyway, see? Like that. So what I worry about is if everyone is here, especially with that pitch, and let me take this out. And then they find these things. When everybody knows this guy, when he's on his own and there's two to one player here facing him, he struggles to turn around and go back here. He's got no pace. So he needs all the help he can get. This is why I prefer this kid to play, because he actually covers him. He complements him. The other day when he was like going astray here, this kid came over here, covered him, and then they swapped around like this. And then sometimes this kid comes over here. Sorry, I don't know what. My bad. Let's go back. Sometimes Henderson comes over here, and Besic go over here. So they were complementing each other, just like the front three were. If you look at Gakpo, Salah, and Nunes, complementing each other throughout the game. One goes here. I don't know what happened. One goes here. One goes there. Like that. Throughout the game, that's been happening throughout the game. Them three complement each other throughout the game, like that, swapping around, as this three will do it in the middle as well, swapping around. If we keep doing things like that, we'll confuse other teams, and I think other teams don't want to play against Liverpool. Let's just be honest there. That's how it is. That's what I got for you people. The formation. Let me go back to it. Nothing's changed in the team. It's going to be more or less the same, and hopefully we'll get a win, because if we win, Newcastle, it's not that far away. It's not that far away from us, and it'd be like a good run at the end of the season. It'll be more exciting than usual. But yeah, listen. At the end of the day, anything can happen in the Premier League. That's how I see it. Anything can happen in the Premier League. The Premier League is unpredictable and it's enjoyable at the same time as well. So if you could look at that, we're 21 games. Newcastle played 22 games. We're only one game behind them, and 9 points off them. So if we continue with that momentum we're having right now, we could catch anyone, mate. We could catch anyone in the Premier League. Let me go back. Liam says, Fozzy lad, we need to keep the momentum going 100%. As I said, I'm not lying about it. Big up Aziz, the regulars are back, as everybody can see. Lewis says, agree Fozzy, thank you very much. Final stretch really now, we can catch up, in my opinion, 100% Lewis. VVD is back, that's good for us, isn't it? And yeah, so we just got to keep going. If you look at the league, we're not too far from everyone. We just have to have this momentum going. But if you look at the right hand side here of the screen, it's not a very good run. Is there 2 losses, 1 draw, and a loss again, and then win? I mean, that's unlike Liverpool, especially what we're all about. 7 games we've lost this season. That's unlike Liverpool. We don't normally do things like that. It's strange in my opinion. So yeah, we just got to improve as the season goes along and see where we end up at the end of the season. Like I said, there was a World Cup. We had to stop mid-season, and the players had to go international duty. It was always going to take them time to come back when that momentum was happening before the World Cup. And now, we've got our first win of this year against Everton. So, still a long way to go, people. Still a long way. I hope you enjoyed this, people. Listen, doing live shows again is the way for me. It's the way for me, and I've enjoyed everything I've done in the last few weeks. So we've got to keep going. And hopefully I'll do the review after the game on Saturday as well. So yeah, I think I might do a live one. I might get some people on there if they're available. So let's just wait and see. I hope you enjoyed this, people. It's been 50 minutes, and yeah, thank you very much. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscription button, hit that notification button, hit that like button, and all that good stuff. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Take care, everybody.